So we're at Titleist here. I've got eBay Pete 14 handicapper and we're getting fitted for the new TS Titleist driver. Then I'm going to have another fitting in the next video. So we're at Clitheroe Golf Club, which looks stunning. Hopefully we'll get out and get a course vlog. So I'm going to try and make this what I see you're going to see, with his numbers, with his old driver and everything. So it's going to be a great day. So thanks for Ian for sorting this out.
Good evening, bud. Nick, nice to meet you.
No, I'm Pete, nice to meet you.
So, going to look at a driver fit today. So obviously we've got the new TS range here, TS2, TS3. So what we're going to start off to do first of all is we're going to get some data off the Trackman with what your driver's kind of producing. So we'll talk you through the numbers, what's kind of going on, and then we'll kind of introduce TS2, TS3 and kind of what's going on. But ultimately with driver, talk to me what goes on with driver, what's the typical kind of shots, what you're looking for in a driver, what would you want a driver to do for you?
Right, well, need a bit more length, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a big hitter.
Okay.
I do tend to hit it with a little bit of draw most of the time.
Tendency. Okay, what's the, so that'd be the good shot. What about the bad shot?
The bad shot's usually a pull left.
Pull left?
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, if I give a driver in your hand, would you be looking for a bit more, what should we say, tight dispersion, kind of hitting more fairways and a bit more distance would be key? Yeah. Okay, definitely. Cool. Yeah. Right, so what we'll do, we'll hit 4 or 5 shots with your own driver, kind of talk about what's kind of going on with it, and then we'll have a chat about where we're going to go with the new Titleist driver, okay? Yeah. Perfect.
Ooh, that's the bad one.
That'd be the bad one?
That is the bad one.
Okay.
Odd.
Where would you say, relative to where you struck that, where would you say you hit that on the face? Would you hit that centre, more toe side? Or?
Yeah, I'd say more heel.
More heel, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so shot shape there.
Yeah, that little bit of.
Okay, again, where would you say you struck that off the face?
I'd say middle-ish.
Okay.
I think it might just been a baddish swing that, or maybe not. The line up wasn't great.
Sometimes you know that shot that goes left. Would you say it almost kind of drops out the sky sometimes?
Yeah,
like
sometimes.
Kind of dives left.
Yeah, sometimes I get a low one as well.
It
which
really
is a
kind
low.
of comes hard left.
Yeah,
okay. I'll be able to talk to you why that happens in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, good shot.
That's a good shot.
Not going to get much better than that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk to your numbers right now, what's happening with your current driver. So when we're looking from a fitting perspective, we're always kind of looking from a dispersion point of view, where we're kind of going. You talk to me, your driver goes a little bit left, and we did see that in a couple of shots that went there. When we look at your actual number breakdown, so we talked to you about each individual shot. So if we look at the ball speed, so that's basically how quick that ball's coming off the face at impact. So 122, 121, 125, 124, 125. So you can see how it's coming off the quickest at 125 and slowest at 121. So there's about 4 mile/hour difference there.
Right, yeah.
Which isn't too bad, but ideally, obviously, we're trying to get as quick as, if anything, try and find you more ball speed for distance and as consistent ball speed as we can get it. Your launch angle, you're averaging at 16 degrees, which is pretty, to put it this way, you need to launch the ball nice and high because you have very, very low spin on the golf ball.
Right, yeah.
Spin's a big one with driver, where a lot of people really want low spin with driver because they think that's how they maximise distance. You will. The big thing with spin is that the whole thing with backspin on a golf ball is that the spin is what keeps the ball up in the air.
Right.
Okay. Too much spin and it'll kind of almost kill it and it'll stall up. Sometimes you're in a wind, sometimes it just kind of falls out the sky. Do that shot we talked about before a minute ago when it kind of, I asked you if the ball kind of goes left and hard sometimes. Some of these shots here have got some really, really low spin numbers, and that's kind of almost going to rob you of carry distance because the ball's not getting to its peak because it's dropping out the sky, okay? Right, so, I'm going to talk to you why that happens in a minute, but just relative to distance, your average carrying at 190, rolling out to 224, so you're getting quite a lot of roll out there, and that's due to this low spin. Basically, in a driver, can I just borrow your driver for a second? Would you say your driver face is pretty straight?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. In a driver, we have a thing called gear effect. Okay, so we actually have bulge and roll in the driver. So, when you said before you kind of hit one in the heel and you expect that to go left, would you? And what about the toe? You hit one out in the toe, where do you expect that to go? Right, okay. What happens with gear effect in the golf club is that when we hit one out in the heel, the ball, these way to do with my knuckles, the ball and the club work against each other like a clog.
Right,
So when we actually hit one in the heel, it might start left, but it actually curves left to right to bring the ball back to target.
Right,
On the other side, in the toe, when you hit one out in the toe, it'll make the ball curve right to left. It also can affect spin. So when we hit a toe strike, that can reduce the spin, and that's basically where you're actually hitting shots. You're hitting shots more up here.
Yeah.
Because it's launching the ball, because from the launch angle, you're launching it up from some of your numbers up at 17, 18 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's what's kind of telling me you're hitting a lot. You see your marks there?
There, right, yeah.
So the ball's launching up, which is a good thing, but with very little spin, and it's kind of, that's why you're getting that side. So that's why the balls are going left. So if we can find a driver that, number one, is going to help you with strike.
Yeah.
So relative to them numbers there, we're at a bit more distance, so we're going to look for a bit more ball speed.
Yeah.
Okay. Give you a little bit more spin as well, just to help you keep the ball up in the air as well.
Yeah.
And it'll help take a bit of that curvature away, and obviously try and help strike. So a couple of different things in there. We obviously got 2 different heads in the Titleist driver this year, TS2 and TS3, so I'll just go and quickly get them for you now. So what we're going to try first, we're going to hit the new TS2 driver, the new Titleist driver. We've got 2 different heads, but we're going to kind of work on this one because I think it's going to be more of a head we're going to be looking at first of all. I'm not going to tell you too much about settings and what I've done it with, because we've got a lot of scope on that side, but all I want from now in terms of relative to shots is just as much feedback as you can give me, how it looks, how it feels, what you feel it's doing different to your driver. Okay?
Right, no problem. I wouldn't say that was the best hit either. So.
Straight as a die.
Okay, so from a strike, feel any different?
It feels real sweet actually.
Okay.
Really good strike of it.
Looks wise when you put it down?
Looks wise, really nice. Really nice. Feels good as well. So.
Feel confident behind the ball?
Yeah.
From a dispersion point of view, straight away we've got...
Yeah, we're straight, aren't we? Yeah. It's good.
So you're hitting fairways, which is always a bonus.
I mean, that's my bad shot. I would say that is what normally is my bad shot.
Okay. Did it, relative to strike, how did that feel compared to your own?
That was a good strike. That, yeah.
And that's quite interesting, that as well. Just grab one more for me, if you can, please. Okay.
I pulled that a little bit, but I mean that is a good
relative strike, feel wise.
That was a good strike. That. Yeah.
Right, let's just quickly look at the differences from your Mizuno driver to the TS2 driver.
Yeah, right.
So look at dispersion.
Yeah.
Red to blue straight away.
Yeah.
Tons tighter dispersion.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just look at your numbers. Right, okay, so when we're looking at the ball speed, first thing we wanted to do first of all, we wanted more ball speed, right? So in your driver, it was 123 mile per hour, TS2 125. So we've got a little bit more ball speed out the driver, which is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
What we also wanted was a little bit more spin, remember?
Yeah.
So you were averaging around at like 1500, which was really, really low.
Yeah.
We're getting up to more around that 1900, up to some of them 2000. So a lot higher spin, which is exactly what we're doing. Because you see now your average carry, we're at 190 with that one. If we round that up to 196, so we've got 6 yards more carry.
Right. Yeah.
So we're getting 6 yards further through the air.
Yeah.
Through better launch, spin, and ball speed numbers. But we've also hit fairway in every single shot.
Yeah.
So if you think about that, if we're in there, if we're in that zone a lot more, than there, your second shots then become obviously a little bit easier coming into the green. There's still a little bit more things we can do with the driver, so I'm going to change the spec up a little bit for you. So if I borrow that driver for a second.
What spec has he got in that one you've just given him?
I'm not going to tell him yet.
Ah, okay. So we're in 5 shots here now with another spec of driver. It's a great flight.
Wow.
That feel different?
That felt much different. Yeah. Felt much different now.
So straight away, ball flight.
It's absolutely crushing it.
Different ball flight straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more for me. Does the cut feel light or heavy?
Feels lighter.
In a good way?
Yeah.
That was your longest carry there. 203 carry there. That's a good 10 yards further than...
That's good.
But again, relative to dispersion,
well, that's spot on, isn't it?
they pretty much all
Down the middle.
yeah. Nothing with it again. So again, great numbers again. Ball speed is way up.
Right.
Just that spin number's a little bit low.
Yeah.
I'm just going to change the back weight. So again, just as much feedback.
Great flight on that.
That's the flight you're looking for,
That's
right?
fantastic. This
Going over the green, that.
210 carry.
Wow.
So if we're looking from
20
where
yards
yours
further in
are
his
carrying
other.
as an average,
I've got 20 yards, haven't I?
your average carry, your driver was 190.
Yeah.
So that's 20 yards more carry. And we talked about ball speed.
Yeah.
The ball speed with yours was 123 mile per hour. That last one
Yeah.
came off at 129.
Yeah.
With higher spin, launch and spinner. That's a great thing. Whenever you're into a headwind as well, with your spin
Yeah.
that you hit with a golf ball, it isn't going to kill. It's just going to go straight through a wind.
Flipping hell.
Does that shaft feel better?
Oh yeah, it feels fantastic. Yeah. You see the difference, isn't it? And I'm not, you know, trying to knock the skin off it, I'm just swinging nice off it.
Then 205 carry. How does it feel with that weight change? I know
Yeah,
I'm not telling you what I've done with it, but does it feel a bit better?
Yeah, it does feel better actually, yeah. It's really good. Easy to swing, not having to force anything.
Doesn't feel like you're having to fight it or anything like that, no?
No, it comes through very easy. No, that would, I would say that was a bad shot, but still gone. Got a couple more.
One more for me and then we'll kind of wrap up on.
Yeah.
But completely different from where we started at.
Yeah.
And this is a great thing from a fitting perspective. What we're doing here is that we've seen an improvement from the first driver.
Yeah.
We've seen improvement from the second driver. And then what we're doing here is we're fine tuning the ball flight. We're looking at different things through hosel and changing the weights to really fine tune the ball flight.
That was a great strike. That.
Right, so let's have a quick look at differences from where we were at and where we're kind of going now. So
Yeah.
relative to your shots, when we look at dispersion, so we look at this dispersion here, right, okay, best players in the world, their dispersion will always pretty much kind of be very similar carry,
Yeah.
but it'll be left and right. Biggest thing from an amateur level is that golf gets hard when strike starts to vary.
Yeah.
So if you imagine, let's just have a look at your drive there. So your best drive with your own driver carried at 200 yards.
Yeah.
But at its lowest carried at 179.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference there in carry.
Yeah.
So not only is the left and right left more dispersion for yourself, but there's also up and down dispersion.
Yeah.
If we look at the TS2 driver, that one we've just been hitting there, look at your dispersion. They've all pretty much carried the same place,
Right.
which is exactly what we want. You want to have the confidence knowing that variance from strike, you're going to get very similar results, right?
Yeah.
Left and right is golf, unfortunately. Golf's hard enough as it is, right? So we looked at, there's been a massive improvement in terms of dispersion straight away. Numbers wise, okay, so the blue to the greeny numbers is that ball speed has popped up 5 mile per hour, which is huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Launch is similar, spins a bit higher, which is ticking a box. The height is actually up as well. So your peak height with your own driver was 64 foot.
Yeah.
That was its peak height. The TS2 is getting up to 77.
Right.
So you think about it, if it's going higher in the air, it's
carry.
actually spending more time in the air as well, right? Your carry distance was 190 yards.
Yeah.
With TS2, the one you've got in your hand there is 205. So it's spending 15 yards more in the air consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And overall then 224 with your own, 236 with the TS3.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty much kind of 10 yards overall, but the big one there is carry. There's 15 yards more carry. And when we look at driver fittings, it's always carry.
Yeah.
Because the ball can always roll out. If you're on a dog leg, whatever, or you're playing a Parkland golf course compared to links, it's always going to be different. Whereas your carry is always going to be pretty much consistent. So what have we done with the driver? If I just borrow that for a second. So we put you in the TS2 driver.
Yeah.
Number one, it's just got that little bit more stability around it, because obviously you're a bit more toe strike, and the whole idea behind this driver, it's just a very, very, very stable, high forgiving driver. We're in a 9.5 degree setting.
Yeah.
Okay. And an A1 hosel setting. So A1 is just a standard hosel, so I've not changed a loft or lie angle. A quite unique thing that we can do as a brand, which other brands don't do with their drivers, when you can change adjustability in driver. You're changing multiple different things. With us, we can independently change loft and lie. So we can help with direction and change loft, which is quite unique. The shaft, before we talk about the weight, is a new Kurikage from Mitsubishi. It's very, very lightweight. Just to help get you up there, we need a bit more spin, so this shaft's going to help with that. What's quite interesting is this shaft length is at 44.5 inch. Right. Okay, it's actually an inch shorter than our stock driver. Right. Big thing with that shaft is always going to help determine basically strike. What I tend to see with a lot of amateur golfers is that they're playing a driver length that's too long. And that can be massive in variances in strike. We've got you in a shorter shaft that's give you more control, which is, if we can get you more fairways straight, it's a big thing.
It's so funny that, because that were our conversation on here. I said, Pete, every time you grip your club, you look like it's too big for you anyway. You're either touching the shaft.
100%. So I've taken an inch off a club, and we'll look at your strikes. Everything's been centered. And for me, amateur golfers, people talk about club head speed. So the whole idea is that if I swing the club faster, provided I still have a centre strike, I'm going to have more ball speed. The only thing that hits the golf ball is the club head. So if I can max out ball speed, you'll hit the ball further. Right. How many times do you see it when you've got a long drive at your corporate golf day or whatever it's going to be in a fun comp, and you guys go, oh, it's the longest drive, I'm really going to swing hard at it. But then the majority of the time, they don't hit it anywhere near as far as they'd normally hit the driver, because the strikes, they don't hit the strike where they need to. So it's not always about club head speed. Yes, club head speed is great, but ball speed, we're always looking to max out ball speed through the strike. What I've done with the head weight is, and this is a really cool thing where we can really, again, fine tune the ball flight, is that I've made the head weight a little bit lighter than standard. Right. Again, that's going to help with club head speed. And for you, it's just going to help generate a little bit more backspin. And for you, that's a big thing that you actually need. A lot of people, I wish I had that problem. I spin the driver way too much. But for you, just having that bit more spin, you can kind of see how the ball kind of stayed in the air a bit longer.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The whole idea, that's just what's going to help with that. But yeah, any questions?
No,
happy with what you saw?
I have, Pete.
Can we get another 10 yards?
Pete, you enjoy that?
Oh, absolutely fantastic, yeah. I mean, what a difference in the strike and everything. So, and it's one thing we were talking about, Liam, was getting that shorter shaft. So
it's a massive difference. You can see how short Pete is there, because the lad on the left's only 5'7". Right, well, thank you very much.
No problem. Cheers, bud.
Right, thanks
all the best.
Nick, cheers, mate.
Right, Pete, now they're not here, which they're fantastic to them. How did you feel about it?
Well, that's the best fitting I've ever had, definitely.
And you're no one to go through clubs?
I've bought some clubs in my time, some drivers, but from hitting the first driver he gave me to when he gave me the figures, and then he started putting different shafts in, different weights, and we actually got the distance up 20 yards.
It's a lot when you're only carrying it 190.
Yeah, but I'm only doing 190, 200 anyway, so I was doing like 220, so it's a massive difference to me. And the club felt fantastic. So
there you go, golf mates. That's Pete, mid-handicapper, saying how it is, nobody about us. And to be fair, I enjoyed filming it, Pete, because it was good to see you whacking the ball, mate.
Oh, it was fantastic. They actually put a lighter shaft in there, and it just felt so easy to hit. And yeah, the ball was flying.
Well, don't forget, please, thumbs up, like the video, definitely comment, because even Pete's going to you'll reply to everyone, Pete, won't you?
Absolutely, I will.
Any questions, and definitely share this video around.